convinced about, we're going to be a far less affluent society than we were used to being.
I want to get back to the aesthetic side of things. I just think that, a street that's paved with blocks or brick, I feel like it continues the beautiful facade of the buildings down, to my feet.
Yeah, it's a matter of texture, and it's true. If you're in a city that's composed of masonry, like Troy, New York, it is kind of a lovely thing to have the texture continue. One of the features of our everyday world are all the breaks and discontinuities between things. In fact, that's really what the automobile has been about severing all the connections in our world. I saw a very interesting example of this in northern Michigan on Mackinac Island, or is it Mackinac Island? It depends on how you pronounce it locally. That's an island that has just programmatically never allowed cars to be there. They just got this idea they were going to be car-free back in the old days, and they never budged. And so all of the deliveries are to the big hotels, and they've got some big old grand hotels there. All the deliveries are done by horses and wagons, and they conduct sort of normal economic life. It's basically a tourist town, but everything that's needed is done with horses and wagons. Well, that's a little beside the point, which is that what you saw there was this remarkable healing process, or shall we say, a process in which the continuities between the streets and the things on them were never really severed, so that you got a very gentle transition between the dirt street where the horses were and the dooryards of the houses, and then and the fences, the dooryard, and then the house itself. And so unlike most of the rest of the United States, none of the buildings turned their backs to the street. They all sort of wanted to be part of it and participated and to beautify it. And you saw a very emphatic sense of participation and continuity that has been severed absolutely everywhere else. And we don't really get why. And it's because the car destroys everything in the public realm.
Well, Jim, I noticed on certain sidewalks in my town, some of them are just ugly concrete, and some of them are slate with bricks. And I remember what you said about the new urbanists measuring things.
Yeah.
And I found that the original slate with bricks on the side of the sidewalk, it looks fantastic. It's fun to walk down. Mm-hmm. But then someone tried to sort of recreate it with newer materials. It was too wide. I don't know what it was. It was just mysterious.
Well, they might have gotten the pattern wrong or used materials that were second or third rate. One of the things that always amazes me is that the amazing lack of agreement about what the pavement is going to be in a given neighborhood, even the good neighborhoods. Now, getting back to what we were talking about a minute or so ago, Europe. One of the amazing things is the degree of agreement about how the various pieces of the street should work. And generally, you go to a city like, Berlin, and there's agreement that the pavement will be such and such a pavement in the whole neighborhood. But here, even in Saratoga Springs, you go down to the best street in town, one guy's house has concrete pavements, the next guy has bricks, the next guy has leftover slate from 1857, then a fourth guy has slabs of marble from, maybe 1838 or something. And there's no agreement, and it changes every 60 feet. And it's absurd.
Yeah.
And the thing is that all of these people, are spending a lot of money. Well, the guys who haven't, changed the pavements at all, they're obviously not. But people are putting new pavements in all the time, spending a lot of money on it, making it special, so that it'll stand out. And that's not the point. The point is to find some agreement, for everybody on the street to get together and say, this will be the normative thing and the most excellent thing to do. Let's do it.
Yeah.
And probably the worst thing that I've seen lately is this new product, as they call it. It's basically this asphalt that they roll some kind of a device over, which then melts a certain amount of it and lays a color down so it looks like paving stones.
Yeah.
But it's really just blacktop with some kind of jive plastic, tricked up kind of thing on it.
Or they do it to look like bricks. And in my neighborhood, it looks like it's so pathetic.
Yeah.
It wears off within a month.
Right. And then it looks like, asphalt that somebody tried to fob off as something else,
Yeah.
Anyway, if we could just get a level of agreement about some of this stuff in America, we'd be a happier nation.
Well, I just want to throw in one jab at the suburbs. So you go to my parents' neighborhood in the suburbs, there's one street that actually has a sidewalk, which is unusual. But then there's always some guy on the street who's like, I'm not letting a goddamn sidewalk go through my lawn. So the sidewalk just ends.
Oh, yeah, that
for this
happens all the
guy's
time.
house. Then it starts on the side.
Well, that actually would lead to, one of the things I've noticed in recent years. In America, we should change our national motto from "In God We Trust" to "It's the thought that counts," or "We meant to." Because American life is so full of empty gestures, and we see so many empty gestures in the built environment. Including the sidewalks that end after 60 feet, and there are so many things like that.
Well, on that note, Jim, thanks a lot. I can't believe we did it, but 15 minutes on textured paving.
Wow, maybe we can talk about ceiling fixtures next time.
Take care.
Okay.
You've been listening to the KunstlerCast featuring James Howard Kunstler. To leave a listener comment, call toll-free at 866-924-9499. Send email to letters@kunstlercast.com. You can download episodes of this program, read transcripts, learn about our theme music, and join our mailing list at KunstlerCast.com. I'm your host, Duncan Crary. Thanks for listening.